BRB Network TV with Brian Herzog.
Welcome to the very first BRB Network Southern University College of Business, the TV show. I'm your host for today's show, Brian Herzog, along with MBA Director at the College of Business, Dr. Ash, and Dr. Andrews, the Dean. We'll be conducting interviews with Ugandan business owners engaged in an exchange program facilitated right here in the United States, along with a few other different countries in Africa. The objective of this exchange program in the U.S. with the Ugandans is to give an outside perspective on starting up businesses as well as the development process right here in our country, with the hope that there can be something constructive learned as well as strengthening international relationships on both sides. Well, let's just go right into the interview with Dr. Ash. Go ahead.
Today in the studio we have 14 young Ugandan small business owners who have come to the U.S. through a project funded by the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. And the main objectives of the project is really to, through exchange of people, to enhance the relationship between the peoples of the two countries. This project, of course, has different activities. There was a 2-week training in Uganda on business leadership and entrepreneurial skills development. And also there was a business plan competition. And finally, the 14 fellows have come to the US for a 6-week training. Now, during their stay here, they had different sessions on skills development, and they have visited different places in the US. They have met different individuals, and today they are here to give us their impressions. Fiona, we are glad that you are here, and before we go into detailed discussion, can you tell us something about yourself?
Thank you, Dr. Ash. My name is Fiona Lukwago, married to Julius Lukwago, who is the head of the marketing department in a non-profit organization in Uganda. I have 2 beautiful boys, and I'm 30 years old. I have been working with a non-profit organization, UNDP, in Uganda for the last 3 years. But currently, we're starting our own business with my husband, a management innovations consulting firm that will sell the private sector mode of management to the non-government organizations in my country as a way of making them more effective, more efficient, and to improve the way they manage their performance.
And during the 2-week training in Kampala, you had the opportunity to be exposed to the different disciplines in business. And could you tell us how much that training impacted you?
Well, the 2-week training in Kampala was very helpful to me. It taught me how to make a business plan. I learned a lot about leadership. I learned about the impact, how I should be very mindful of the changing trends in terms of globalization. I also learned quite some amount on how to manage my financial projections when I'm starting a business. So it was very helpful for me.
In the US, since you came, could you tell us really what are really the few things that have struck you within your expectation or beyond your expectation? What are really some of the things you have noticed and captured your attention?
Well, the first one for sure is the customer care that is given to people when they are buying products from the shops. When we visited the mall and other shops in the US, the first impression that really struck me was the way people are so mindful of actually getting the customer to come back more than getting the customer in the first place. I was really impressed, and for sure, the first shop I went to, I went back and bought more products. So I'm so impressed by the attention that people give to their customers. It's very different from my country.
And during these 6 weeks, I think you have traveled to different states, maybe more than an average American, to several states. And could you tell us which one really impressed you?
Well, yes, I'm very, very honored to say that I traveled to more than 20 states. I liked the fact that we actually traveled by bus from Baton Rouge all the way to DC and back. I think it was very, very helpful. We saw so many states, and the one that impressed me really was Minnesota. where we were hosted by Mr. Louis Henry, and he was very kind to us. He was very hospitable and introduced us to many other businesses that we learned from. I was also impressed by the president of the University Bank, the humility and the way he has kept on, the way the whole bank is driven by the vision of giving back to the community, developing the community around them. I like the spirit of the businesses there and the businesses in the US at large. I like the motive that people have and the way they feel that they have to give back to the community, because it's the only way they will survive.
I know that one of the individuals you met while in Baton Rouge was the director of the BRB networks, Mr. Brian Herzog. What did you discuss with him, and what did you learn from that discussion?
Before we even had any discussion, I was very impressed by Mr. Brian Herzog, that he accepted to actually have a one-on-one session with me. I knew he's a very busy man, and everyone kept telling me how every minute for him counts. So, but the fact that he accepted to actually sit down with me for about 20 minutes and discuss my business and all the challenges I was going through, and the way he kept showing light to this business of mine that I actually thought was very challenging. I was impressed by that attitude. I kept telling him that in Uganda you won't find managing directors just giving you all that time and even calling you back to confirm the appointments. I was impressed by that attitude, and I really thought maybe he should be receiving calls almost every time, that everyone should be working with him. I'm humbled by that.
And now, of course, you are almost about to finish your stay in the US, and you are going back after a few days. And just tell us, although there are similarities and differences between the two countries, the US and Uganda, what do you really gained from this visit, and how much that would impact in your future activities in Uganda?
I gained a lot, Dr. Ash. I learned so much. There were very many things that we learned both in class and outside of class. The families that hosted us taught me so much. I will always be indebted to the State Department of the US for the funding. But the thing that really I will go back with is the fact that many people have given to me. They have invested in me. Even when they do not know me, they have invested in me. I will talk about you, Dr. Ash. I have learned a lot from you. Probably you're the one who has struck me the most by your sacrificial attitude. I like the way you work late and you're always concerned about us. I was really challenged by that, and many people have shown that kind of attitude towards me. So that is the biggest, and it's the beginning point for me. The fact that everyone has invested in me, surely I cannot pay back in a better way than to be successful and to work hard and to make sure that I can at least say thank you in that form.
Thank you, Fiona, and I also wish you all the best in your future business endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Ash. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with BRB Network Southern University College of Business, the TV show, in less than 1 minute.